Today's topic is on spirochetes. Uh, Here, this contains the most common organism, which is the causative agent of the syphilis. Uh, Here, this originally described. This is a highly virulent organism causing florid cutaneous manifestations. With the discovery of this penicillin, it has hope that that it can be cured. This syphilis can be cured. Here we see the introduction. What is this spirochetes? Spirochetes are nothing but a coil. Cheta means a hair. These parakeets are elongated, motile, flexible organism with a characteristic feature presence of the endoplasma. This endoplasma arises from both ends at about 4 to 5 in nature. They encloses the long axis of this organism, and wind around the protoplasmic membrane, which is present between the outer membrane and cell wall. Like other bacteria, this won't protrude out of the cell. It is present within the outer membrane. Next, if you see the size of this spirochetes, it ranges almost 500 micrometers to 5 micrometers in size. They are gram-negative bacteria, and most of them are saprophytes. But some are obligate parasites. That means it survives only in presence of the host only. Some may be aerobic, some may be facultative, or anaerobic parasites are also there. Here, these spirochetes belong to the order Spirochetales, which comprises two families, like Spirochetacea and Leptospiraceae. This Spirochetacea contains genus like Spirocheta, Cristospira, Treponema, and Borrelia. And Leptospiraceae family contains only one genus, that is Leptospira. In all these genus, this Spirocheta causes this spirochete is present on soil and sewage water, and this Cristospira is found in the mollusks. These, if you see this Treponema and Borrelia and Leptospira, these three genuses are the causative agents of the humans. Causative agents are present in the causative agents are present. Causative agents of the disease present. Next, if you see the morphology of these different spirochetes, Borrelia, as I already told you, these are long elongated organisms, and also contains coils. So this Borrelia contains widely opened coils which are pointed ends, and Leptospira contains closely coiled structure with ends are hooked. Hooked ends are present, resembles like umbrella handle. And next, Treponema contains regular spirals with pointed or rounded ends. Next, if you see the diseases that are caused by the spirochetes are the genus Treponema causes Treponema pallidum species causes syphilis, Endemicum causes Beazell disease, and Pertinae causes Pias, and Caratium causes Pinta. Whereas genus Borrelia Burgdorferi causes Lyme's disease, is also called borreliosis. Species recurrentis causes epidemic relapsing fever and endemic relapsing fever, and other species is also there, that is Vincenti, Borrelia vincenti, which causes Vincent's angina. Next, the important genus is Leptospira, which contains an important species, that is interrogans. This introrgan causes Weil's disease. So the disease is also called leptospirosis. If you see, we'll see one by one. First one is treponema. What is this treponema? Tripos means turn. So because of that only, the resembles coil, turn around. The coils are present. Tripos means to turn, and nema means thread-like appearance. Already told, the diseases caused by this is these are some of the diseases that are caused by the genus Treponema, and even though they causes different types of diseases, they differ only by clinical manifestation, but morphologically and antigen structure is similar. Only it differs in course and involvement of the course, involvement and characteristics lesions. And if you see the morphology or structure of the Treponema pallidum, already told, it is an elongated structure with 10 regular spirals. Here it is not showing 10 regular spirals, only showing some spirals. 10 regular spirals. Each coil is maintained at a distance of 1 micrometer, and it measures about 20 micrometers. Measures of 20 micrometers in long and 0.1 to 0.2 micrometers in width. And these are motile, actively motile, in the long axis. Not only that, it also shows backward and forward movement, flexion and extension movement is also seen. Only secondary waves are seen on succussions only. If you see the structure of this cell wall, it contains a trilaminar cell wall, which encloses a protoplasmic membrane. External to that, we can see the outer membrane. In between these two, we can see the section of the cross section of the endoplasm. Okay, and these are poorly stained by poorly stained with ordinary stains, but they can be but they appear light rose and prolonged staining with ginza. Silver impregnation methods can be used to observe the morphology of the spirochete, and Fontana's method for films and Liverti's method for tissue section observation. And this microscopic structure cannot be seen under light microscope. It can be observed only under dark field microscope or by phase contrast microscope. Morphology and motility can be observed by using these microscopes. This was first discovered by Shorden and Hoffman in 1905. This is the picture, electron microscopic picture of Treponema pallidum. And this is the picture showing under dark field microscope, showing bright spiral elongated structure against a dark background. This is the picture we can observe under dark field microscope. And this is the picture showing blood smear. This is the picture of blood smear showing spirochetes along with RBC and white blood cells. Here, these are the spiral structures, spiral elongated structures. Next, here these pathogenic strains cannot be cultivated. So, but cannot be cultivated in cell-free media, that is artificial media. but non-pathogenic strains, non-pathogenic strain like Ritter strain can be cultivated. Uh, can be cultivated in enriched in thioglycolate media. Here it is an adaptable strain of pathogenic strain, that is Nicol strain. This strain is also used in group-specific antigen tests. Virulent strains already told, these virulent strains cannot be cultivated, but it can be propagated, by serial testicular passages in rabbit. During the serial testicular passages in rabbits, till now it is also propagated. First, which has this first strain is isolated from the general paralysis of the insane person during the period of 1912. This strain is also called Nicol strain, which is a pathogenic strain. So, which is this? These testicular passage strains are mainly used for research purposes. Some diagnostic purposes also can be used in few laboratories only. If you see the resistance of this Treponema pallidum, it is a very delicate organism. It won't survive at temperature like 41 to 42 degrees centigrade. That's why it won't survive, as it is a delicate organism. Because of that, it is a delicate organism. It won't survive at room temperature. It can be killed at 4 degrees centigrade within 7 days. It can be stored at minus 70 degrees centigrade in 10% glycerol, or in liquid nitrogen at minus 130 degrees centigrade for a long period, that is 15 years. These are inactivated. These are inactivated and exposure to the oxygen, distilled water, soap, arsenicals, bismuth, antiseptics, and antibiotics. This is about the resistant pattern of the Treponema pallidum. And if you see the antigenic structure, it's a complex structure when compared to the other bacteria. It has a very complex antigenic structure. But we know in that we know 3 antigens which can be used in diagnostic purposes. They are reagent antibody, which is used. This reagent antibody reacts in the non-specific tests or standard tests. This reagent antibody is nothing but an antibody that is produced against the lipid hapten. This lipid hapten is also known as cardiolipin. This cardiolipin is extracted from the beef heart. Okay, it is extracted from the beef heart, which acts as an antigen. But it is not known whether this antibody induced by this cardiolipin antigen is derived from the Treponema pallidum or from damaged host tissue, because this cardiolipin is present in our human organs also. So that's why it is a non-specific test, or it can be used as a screening test. And next one is group antigen. Here in this group antigen, Ritter Treponema, which is a non-pathogen Treponema, is used as a group-specific antigen. As it is a adaptable strain, it can be used in this group-specific antigens so as to avoid the biological false positive reactions. Next one is species-specific antigen. It is polysaccharide in nature. it gives a specificity to the specificity. It gives a specificity to the infected person. And if you see the pathogenicity, as this Treponema causes a natural infection to humans, doesn't have any extra human reservoir. So cultivable it can be experimental, doesn't have any extra human reservoir. It can be produced. This syphilitic infection can be produced experimentally in animals like chimpanzees and monkeys. As that of syphilis, it also produces in experimental animals. Also, it had produced primary lesions and secondary lesions. So, if you see this Nicole strain, that is a pathogen. Pathogen which is used for diagnostic tests can be introduced by serial testicular passages in rabbits, but it doesn't produce any virulence, which is evidenced by the accidental infection laboratory workers. Okay. Here, this syphilis is acquired by venereal route or occupational on occupational exposure, or non-venereal route, or non-venereal, or accidentally. Sometimes it may persons also acquire this syphilis. The most common site, the most common site of lesion is primary lesion is other than genital. In some cases, genital lesions can be seen. If you see the infectivity is maximum during the first 2 years after entry of these spirochetes into the humans. Infectivity is maximum during the first 2 years. After it gradually subsides, but in some cases it may be infectious almost 5 years also. Next, as small as, if you see the infective dose, as small as 60 trichomonas may cause infection in 50% human volunteers. It usually multiplies at the site of entry. Its generation time is almost 30 to 33 hours, and incubation period is almost 90 days. After an incubation period, we can see the clinical manifestations. These clinical manifestations are classified as primary, secondary, and tertiary. In primary syphilis, we can see the in primary syphilis, the primary lesion is chancre. The chancre is usually seen at the site of entry of the spirochete. Okay, at the site of entry of the spirochete. This chancre is painless. This chancre is painless. Indurated, circumscribed, and avascular in nature. It should be differentiated from, is also called hard chancre. It should be differentiated from the soft chancre, which is caused by Haemophilus decree. It is also called Hunterian chancre. Why it is called a Hunterian chancre? Because John Hunter was the person who introduced this organism on himself experimentally, and explained about the evolution of the disease. That's why it's also called Hunterian chancre. Next, after even before the even before the appearance of this primary chancre, these spirochetes enters into the lymph and blood vessels. So so that during the late incubation period also they are highly infectious. Next, these are infectious. Usually, this here at this juncture, we can observe the lymph nodes are swollen and rubbery in consistency. Swollen, rubbery, reddish, and reddish in swollen, discrete, and rubbery in consistency. Usually, this primary chancre heals. Primary chancre heals without any treatment. Without any treatment, also it heals and leaving a scar. Okay, it takes almost 40 days to heal. Also, this is a lesion showing extragenitally, non-verinal root. This is a primary chancre on the limb, and this is a primary chancre on the mandible. Here it shows exudate. It is rich in spirochetes. And this is the chancre showing on the genital area, the person acquired through venereal route. After that, after this primary chancre healing, after some days, after 1 to 3 months, secondary syphilis may appear. This stage is asymptomatic, and asymptomatic. These secondary lesions are mainly due to the widespread multiplication and dissemination through the blood. Here we can see rosellar skin, rosellar macular skin lesions, and sometimes mucus patches on the oropharynx. Next, oropharynx and some cutaneous, some condylomata is also seen at the mucocutaneous junctions. Here, these lesions are also contains high number of spirochetes. This secondary syphilis is also a high infective stage. High infective stage, and this secondary syphilis usually disappear after some years. Disappears after some years. After that we can see disappear, and latent syphilis also can be seen in this at this stage. There is no manifestation, so sometimes it may mislead the person had cured. This is nothing but a latent syphilis. At this juncture, serological diagnosis is very important. For the serological diagnosis is very important for detecting the organism. After this period, latent syphilis, most of the cases cases have a natural cure. Only in some cases we can see a tertiary syphilis. So this tertiary syphilis mainly and tertiary syphilis, clinical manifestations are there is involvement of cardiovascular, including presence of aneurysm and chronic granulomatous lesions like gammata, and sometimes a neurological involvement is also seen. So this is a picture showing gammatous lesion in tertiary syphilis. This is another gammatous lesion in tertiary syphilis. Sometimes after this tertiary syphilis, some quiescence also seen. after some decades of initial infection, we can observe the late tertiary syphilis or quaternary syphilis. In this case, the clinical manifestations are mainly neurological, like general paralysis of insane, neurological involvement like presentation of tabes dorsalis. Here in this case also, serological diagnosis is very important for detection of the syphilis. And next one is not only it can be seen in elder or children, it can also be cause congenital syphilis also. So women's congenital syphilis is nothing but transmission of the infection from mother to fetus. Woman causes causes infection to the fetus when she is suffering in early stages. So when compared to the early stage, a little bit it causes less transmission in later stages after, like for example, 2 years. In this congenital syphilis manifestation is usually seen after 4 months of the gestation. It may be presented as eye lesions, nose lesions, or ear lesions. And other important characteristic feature is the presence of notched teeth. These are nothing but Hutchinson's incisors. Why we are seeing congenital syphilis manifestations only after 4 months? Because at this time only immunocompetence or immunological system is developing at this time. Because of that only, it indicates that indicates that the bacterium requires some immune response so as to produce the lesions. And if you see the diagnosis of the syphilis, these are based on 3 factors, mainly based on history. Based on history and clinical manifestations, and demonstration of the antigens, spirochetal antigens, or demonstration of the antibodies against the Treponema pallidum. Can be the specimens that commonly used are exudate, serum, and CSF. So how we have to collect the exudate from the lesions, that is from chancre. First, great careful should be taken before collecting the before collection. It should be cleaned with the moistened gauze. After that, the edges of the ulcer is scraped so that the superficial epithelium is exposed. After that, give a gentle pressure at the base of the ulcer so that the exudate may come. It is collected on the slide. It should not contain any blood also. Otherwise, it may give some errors. Next one is serum and CSF are also another samples that can be used for the detection of this syphilis. What are the methods that are used for the diagnosis of this syphilis? Here it contains direct microscopic examination. But with the help of light microscope, we cannot, we are unable to identify these spirochetes, but it can be identified by using the morphology and motility of the organism can be identified by using the dark brown microscope or fluorescent antibody by using the fluorescent microscope. Here, this dark field microscope is low sensitive because it requires almost 10 power 4 spirochetes per ml per ml in an exudate. That's why sometimes this exudate may contain that much amount or may not. So this dark field microscopy is a little bit low sensitive. But if you see the fluorescent microscope, fluorescent antibody testing method, here the slides containing exudate is fixed with a stone, is sent to the laboratory. Later it is fixed with anti-trichomonomal fluorescent antibody. It is tagged with anti-fluorescent, anti-trichomonomal anti-serum. So, with the help of this fluorescent microscope, we can observe the organism. If the sample contains antibody, it can fluoresce. It can fluoresce. A bright illuminating organism can be seen by using the fluorescent microscope. Other methods that are used for diagnosis are serological tests. Serological tests includes non-specific or non-trichomonomal tests, group-specific trichomonomal tests, and specific trichomonomal antibody tests are used for confirmatory. Here, this non-specific test is used for screening purpose only, and it is also used as an indicator of success of the treatment. Here, this is the picture showing the bright, elongated, coiled structure against a dark background under dark field microscope. And this is the picture showing showing under fluorescent microscope. Organisms are fluorescent. We'll see one by one of serological tests. Here I am told that we have 3 methods. The first one is non-trichomonomal reagent test. It contains VDRL, RPR. VDRL is nothing but Venereal Disease Research Laboratory, and RPR is rapid plasma reagent test, and unheated serum reagent test, and reagent screen test. Here ELISA is not there, by mistake it had done. Next one is the first one is non-specific or non-trichomonomal serological test is used to detect the reagent. Reagent is nothing but the antibody that reacts with the lipoidal antigen, is also called cardiolipid antigen. That is derived from the beef heart. Okay, that is derived from the beef heart. This cardiolipid is present not only in syphilitic infected patient, but also it is also derived from the damaged host tissue. That's why it is a non-specific test, but it can be used as a screening test. Okay. Next, this non-specific test. This non-specific test or standard trichomonomal test become positive only after 7 to 10 days after the appearance of the primary chancre. Its sensitivity is almost 75% in a primary stage, and its tighter range and tighter ranges 8. Tighter ranges to 8 only, because these antibodies are present in low level. Whereas in secondary stage, this RPR test gives 100% sensitivity, and its tightest ranges from even to thousands also. I mean, ranges 16 to 1000 titers also we can see. And here its sensitivity is almost 100%. The main problem in secondary stage is main disadvantage is due to the projon phenomenon. Projon phenomenon, that means at this juncture, at this stage, it has high levels of antibodies. So because of that, sometimes we may get the false negative result also. In tertiary cases, tertiary stage, the sensitivity ranges to 75%. And it may become negative after successful treatment. NST may become negative after successful treatment. And first one is VDRL test. Here it is a flocculation agglutination test. If the test is positive, the particles precipitate out in the presence of the reagent. And here this antigen contains cardiolipin along with the cholesterol and lecithin, which should be made freshly before every testing. The serum that had taken in VDRL test, it should be inactivated so as to remove any complementary involvement. So it should be heated at 56 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes so as to remove the complementary activity. In case of if it is not tested within 4 hours, it must be reheated before testing. But to dispense the antigen, a calibrated syringe which dispenses 60 drops syringe should be used. It can be performed by placing a 0.05 ml of serum on a special slide, and it is mixed with the cardiolipin antigen, which is mixed along with the cardiolipin antigen by using the calibrated syringe. And after that, after mixing, thorough mixing, it should be rotated on the centrifuge at about 180 RPM per 4 minutes. After that, after 4 minutes, it should be result should be read microscopically at 10x. But in case of CSF, it should not be heated. For serum only, it should be heated so as to remove any complementary activity. This is the picture showing the reactivity and non-reactivity. This left side showing the clumping of the particles which are suspended indicates the reactivity of the serum to the antigen. This is non-reactivity, non-reactive. Positive and negative input should be given, which can be observed by using the microscope at 10x. You see the RPR test. So many modification has done for VDRL. In that, RPR is the most popular one nowadays we are using. Here the serum or plasma added to the circle. To that, add 1 drop of the antigen. This antigen contains carbon particles, so that it can be macroscopically visible. So after mixing this antigen, it should be rotated on the centrifuge at 100 RPMs for 88 minutes, and results are read microscopically. It is somewhat better than that of the VDRL test. Nowadays we are using the RPR only. This is the picture showing the positive reaction, clumping of the particles. There is no clumping of the particles. Indicates the presence of the non-specific anti-lipid antibodies. This is another picture showing the RPR picture showing I mean clumping of the particles on the top. This top circle showing this is positive control and this is negative control. This test is before treatment of the person, and this is the test serum showing the particles clumping. This is the picture showing negative control, positive control, and bottom right side one is this one is negative. I mean non-reactive. Non-reactive. This is after treatment of the patient with antibiotics. So here in this case, it is a good indicator of the success of the treatment. These non-specific tests are good indicator of the success of the treatment. After seeing this reactivity, we have to confirm this non-specific test sample should reactive sample should be confirmed with a specific test. This is another test, RST, reagent screen test. Here this antigen contains fluid and blood. Reaction also can be observed macroscopically. Sensitivity specificity is more than that of the VDRL test. Here doesn't require any inactivation of the sputum by heat. The most important problem that we'll see in non-specific tests are standard tests for syphilis are biological false positive reactions. Why? Because of the presence of the cardiolipin antigens. This cardiolipin antigen is present both in the cell wall of the Treponema pallidum as well as in the mammalian tissue. That's why we are getting the biological false positive reactions. These biological false positive reactions are defined as this positive reaction with the cardiolipin test, positive reaction with cardiolipin test. That means non-specific tests or standard tests for syphilis in the absence of past or present treponemal infection and not caused by technical faults. So here we are seeing the false positive reactions even in the absence of the treponemal infections. Because sometimes it may be derived from the mammalian tissue due to some infections or due to some chronic infections or due to chronic infections or from acute infections. Here this biological false positive reactions again classified as acute and chronic. This acute false positive reactions is usually seen some weeks are positive reactions seen only in some days or some months only. Whereas chronic false positive reactions can be seen more than 6 months. Here this acute false positive reactions is mainly due to acute infection, inflammation and some injuries. Whereas chronic biological false positive reactions may be due to tropical eosinophilia, and also lakpothe, malaria, collagen diseases, SLE, next hepatitis. These are some of the chronic infections where we can see the biological false positive reactions. Another important characteristic feature is this biological false positive reactions is false positive reactions mainly due to IgM, whereas in the antibody whereas the antibodies that is produced in Treponema pallidum infection is characterized by IgG. Okay. This is about the biological false positive reactions. So as to avoid this biological false positive reactions, group specific tests, treponema tests are mainly used. Here this group specific treponema test group specific triple test uses return protein antigen in complement fixation test. Here it contains lipopolysaccharide protein complex as an antigen. So the test is known as a return protein complement fixation test. It removes removes any biological paths for to avoid the biological paths for reaction. Group specific tests are used. Here return protein why we are used is because it is a adaptable strain of Nicole strain, which is a pathogenic strain. Even though it avoids the biological false positive reactions, it shows some problems, some positivity in the test. Because of that, it is not used nowadays. And at the same time, it also has a low sensitivity and specificity than those tests using the triple mark paradigm. When compared to the STS, it is a little bit better. But when compared to the specific triple mark test, it has a low sensitivity and specificity. Here, after group specific NST, group specific tests, group specific triple tests, we have other tests are specific, species specific triple tests. Okay, this is a somewhat better and more specific when compared to the other tests. These are used to confirm the non-specific tests, non-specific reagent tests. It includes triple pallidum immobilization is also called TPI, triple pallidum hemagglutination, TPHA. Next test is fluorescent triple antibody absorption test. This is also called FTA, ABS, and the last one is ELISA. Here I am going to stop. The next class I will take the explanation of this specific species specific tests and prophylaxis and treatment. And also I will take the Borrelia and Leptospira. Thank you.
Yeah.